How's it going, y'all? It's me, Space Cadet. And I like 3D printing things, if you guys couldn't tell, is one of my favorite things to do. And nowadays, I have a lot of hobbies, or things that I like to do, to pass my time and keep me occupied. But back in the day, I didn't have such luxuries. I didn't have such ideas of the things I'd like to do, or the things that give me joy. It was more so things happening to me and me trying to find joy in the moment of the things happening to me, which is the case for most children. Starting out, I was enlisted in football. I've come from a long line of football fanatics. Sometimes trying to find things that you like to do is hard, and for a long time, I didn't know what I wanted to do, not as a job, as a hobby. I didn't know things that I like to do. First, I was enrolled in sports. I played football for a long time. First, I was enrolled in football, and then I moved to basketball, and that wasn't my thing. And it wasn't the worst thing in the world. It wasn't like I despised sports. I kind of liked it, but it wasn't. I don't know. I just knew I would like things better than that, and that this was just something that I could do for now. I started to draw when I was a kid, just like sketching in a notebook, and that's not abnormal. Most kids do that, obviously, but I didn't really find the kind of enjoyment I wanted to out of it. I mean, yeah, it was something to do to pass the time, and I drew a lot of things. I drew so much, but it wasn't something that I would do all the time, like something that I was looking forward to doing and like wanted to pursue or anything like that. I don't know how much I would consider watching shows a hobby. I mean, it definitely is to some degree, but it's not necessary. Watching, like sitting down and watching a show, or like watching movies or some stuff like that, isn't the first thing that I think of when you say hobbies, or the word hobbies comes to mind. I'm thinking more like like knitting, or bingo, or riding your bike, or rock climbing, or something like that. But I did have a couple YouTubers that I really like to watch, and that I would look forward to watching, kind of like I do with my hobbies nowadays, and how I like watching One Piece. I'm not sure, like it's something that I do, and that I look forward to doing, but I'm not sure how much of a hobby that is, if that makes sense. It wasn't until around, I think, the 7th grade that I went skating for the first time. One of my friends took me to a skating rink, and for the first time, I felt like I wanted to pursue something. I don't know, like I got the right satisfaction out of doing that I was lacking from pretty much everything else up to that point. So I pretty much dedicated everything I had to skating. It was every weekend, pretty much every weekend, every time, every chance I got, going to the skating rink. And then if I couldn't go to the skating rink, I'd just go on the road. I'd just go on the road, or a sidewalk, or pretty much anywhere I could find to go skate somewhere. It started out with me going to indoor skate rink. I got my own pair of skates, and instead of just going to the indoor rinks, I could do it anywhere now. So I'd do it on sidewalks, and then some of my other friends got interested in it, and then it just kept snowballing from there. Sometime in high school, I got into archery. One of my teachers done a little archery program, and I really took a liking to it. I never shot a bow before then, but I picked up the bow, and I just really like shooting the target. So every chance I got in school, I was in there shooting a target, and I even got my own bow and own arrows later down the road, and I'd practice at home. And I don't do archery anymore. It was something that I really liked in the moment, but it's kind of fizzled out, and it was one of my bigger hobbies. I mean, definitely noteworthy for sure. I liked archery for a long time, and I wouldn't be against picking archery back up. Yeah, I wouldn't mind picking archery back up if it was under the right circumstances. Hobbies are alright, especially are alright alone, especially if you like it enough. But if you have a hobby to do with your friends or other people that you like that do that hobby with you, it's so much better. Like when I go out and I skate with my friends, it's so much better than just going alone. And if I had other people to shoot archery with, that'd be even better. It was around the time I stopped shooting archery as often is when I switched from roller skates to roller blades, and I pretty much stopped going to the skating rink. I pretty much only focused on going outside and going with my friends. And this was still like every weekend, every opportunity we got. And that eventually evolved into skateboarding. I got myself my own deck and trucks and wheels, and I made put my own board together. Didn't find skateboarding as enjoyable, but I switched to a longboard. I switched from the skateboard to a longboard, and I loved the longboard. I wasn't so focused on doing the tricks, but cruising around on a longboard, that's something I can get down with. And most recently, I got myself an electric longboard, and that has been that has taken over my skating life for the time being. I've probably definitely gotten rusty on my roller skating skills, but I've loved that thing. And obviously, I'm into 3D printing. I love sharing my prints. I got into 3D printing because one of my friends had a 3D printer, and he printed out some Warhammer stuff, and I was like, this is so cool. And we talked back and forth, and so I finally got one, and it's amazing. You guys know how much I like this thing already. I talk about it so much. And I can't wait for my next 3D print vid coming out. And sometimes hobbies come and go. You feel them more than you do other times. Sometimes I'll really focus on 3D printing and kind of just let everything else sit on the back burner, and then all of a sudden I'm really into skating. And then let everything set on the back burner. I don't know if you could consider YouTube or video making a hobby, but I've really been enjoying that recently too. The whole process through and through. Nobody, at least around here, nobody really skated, and so it took a long time for me to even figure out that I liked to do that, or if it was something that I'd be interested in. And the more you know about other people's hobbies, the more things you might find that you like to do, I guess is the best way to put that. And that's really about it for this one. Let me know some of your hobbies down in the comments. What do you guys like to do? And that's about it for this one, and I'll see you.